Welcome back to the Micro Advice Podcast. Today, our spotlight is once again on Sentisum, a UK-based startup that leverages AI and natural language processing to help companies deliver a strong customer experience. If you joined us last time, you heard founder and CEO Sharad Khandelwal discuss the journey and future of CX. Today, we are here with Ben Goody, Head of Branding and Demand Gen at Sentisum. Ben, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thanks so much for having me on. Really appreciate it.
Ben, that's great. And since our last conversation, I was really looking forward to this and the deep dive into what Sentisum is doing. So if you listened to the last version of this episode, you heard the founder and CEO, Sharad, talk a lot about the future of CX and what Sentisum is doing, how it started, how you're delivering value to the customers. But today I want to dig deeper into how you're building the brand in this novel CX space. So getting started, I think most of us know that building a brand is really tough work, especially now, given these difficult times for small businesses. So what are some of the activities you've seen work well or not so well when identifying and attracting new customers, particularly to a novel software like this one?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's it's definitely is hard to build a brand. It's one of those things that takes years, and it's an iterative process of like failing over and over again in different ways. I think so. There's a few ways that we're like starting where we're seeing like things happening and like things like customers finding us that way. Like if you're a new company, the way I would think about I guess attracting new customers is there like firstly is there existing demand out there? Wait, if there is existing demand, like we have kind of it's like an AI product, CX analytics. There are people out there who want it already, so then it becomes our job to help them find us basically. So if we want to capture the existing demand, this is what we've been doing the last year or so, doing everything we can to capture the people who are already out there looking for our product, making sure we are top of the search results when they're looking for an AI-based like support ticket analytics product. The other side of that equation is, can we make more demand? Like there could be there's obviously a lot of companies out there who aren't yet using AI in their contact center or for CX. So how can we create more of that demand? And the way that we've seen working like most successfully really is like social media and what like is called kind of content-based networking, which I guess you're kind of fully aware of, which is stuff like podcasting. How can we co-create content with our community and a group of people in the industry that helps us build relationships with them, but also leverage their network of other people in the industry and really try to like punch above our weight in terms of brand. We don't have to be the household name, but if we're everywhere on LinkedIn with people who are our kind of ideal customer, we're interviewing them, they're posting about us. That's the goal, really, is just to grow our social network and brand.
That's fascinating. And those are very good ways around selling and getting the brand out there. Ben, I wanted to ask, you brought up something about understanding the market and identifying if there's a demand out there. How did you do that? How do you validate the idea and that it could be a viable product even beyond just being viable, but also that there's a sizable demand for a particular problem to be solved, like you're solving?
I guess I was lucky enough to not be at the beginning of this company where we spent years trying to make a product and validating that it works with customers or that people want it. A lot of the early stuff was just reaching out to people and building like low-key networks and getting people to test and try the product. From an organic kind of search traffic perspective, you can quite easily, there's a lot of tools out there you can easily kind of validate like what are people searching for. One of the ways that you could be looking for us, if you're searching for like a voice of the customer tool or technology, how many people per month? With this tool like Ahrefs, you can type in voice of the customer tools. You can see that like a few hundred people every month are searching for that. It kind of validates to some extent that there are people out there looking for it.
Okay, makes sense. So, Ben, how do you segment your customers, and do you apply different tactics for demand gen based on those segments?
I think we naturally know that we will pick up different people from different areas. Like not everyone's on LinkedIn where we're trying to grow our brand. But I wouldn't say that we're deploying like different tactics at this point for all of them. I think we're not at that scale, I would say, like where we can really see the numbers and be like, okay, this is how we're going to do that. And but ultimately, like what we're looking for in companies that we get, like we're trying to work with, those that like already care about customer experience, and typically like B2C companies that have enough volume of customer support contacts and customer support conversations that you can like get meaningful insights from them, or the automations will actually save a significant amount of time, so it makes sense to buy a product around it. So there's a particular size we'll go after. And then we experimented for a little bit around help desks. So we were going for Zendesk customers for quite a while and just like creating the best product for them. But we've now sort of expanded out of that ecosystem just to other help desks, because actually we just saw that there was like opportunity across all of them.
I think it's always a question that comes up in every founder's mind of when do you start segmenting customers? When do you start building these segments? And it seems, based on what you said, unless I misunderstood it or misinterpreted it, but as early as possible, start building these different segments and then tracking progress within each of those. Even if you don't have a ton of customers in one particular segment, keep moving it forward and growing. Is that something you've seen work well?
Yeah, I think I would just start, like if you're a startup, go after the person and the group of people who is most likely to see the value from your product. Like don't go for the people, just if you kind of spray and pray, you're likely to come across a lot of people who don't get it. Why not try to get your first 10 customers who do get it, and then raise some money and hire some people who know what they're doing, and then go after the more difficult ones. That's kind of how I think about it.
Very good. Sage advice. So, Ben, I know there's a ton of traffic already out there around the importance of focusing on a strong customer experience. You had mentioned that a few minutes ago in your response. So, how are you focusing on, or better yet, where have you seen some good experiences, whether within Sentisum or other organizations, around staying relevant and sustaining momentum in this space? Just given that there's a ton of content out there on CX.
Interesting. So building a brand in this space, even though there's already a lot of people building brands in this space. For me, like the best brands I've seen always sort of tap into something that people are feeling but not talking about at the moment. Like that's how I think about branding. So like an industry sort of like underlying feeling of, or like why are people uncomfortable with something, and they're not happy with something. And the best brands sort of make that their enemy and just talk endlessly about, like half of branding is just showing up on a daily basis, just being there, being present, saying the same thing over and over again. And that is how you break through. I mean, picking something that people, like some people resonate with, others might not, or others might disagree, but either way, that doesn't really matter. And then just saying it over and over again. Something unique is also good, but I think you can find that mixture of not many people talking about it, but also a lot of people feel it. And that's when you get your kind of like gem of a brand. I think realizing that LinkedIn is not just somewhere that you can talk about your brand all day and people want to listen to it. Having a healthy mix of like, this is the value that we give to you, like for free. This is like, let me teach you about this. Let me share this podcast with you. Let me share all that. And then kind of earning the right to talk about yourself. I think that's the best people on LinkedIn are doing that. Like a good, healthy mixture of building awareness of what they do, but also sharing value.
Okay, that's great. Perfect. So final question for today. Do you have any tips or tricks for startups or small businesses seeking to be leaders in customer experience and what they might be able to do right from the start?
That's a good question. I think a lot of great customer experiences and even customer support is just like people want to be heard and know that you're dealing with it. So that's something that we try to do. But anyway, I guess the few ideas that I have, okay, I would say if you want to be good at customer experience, you've got to talk to your customers. Finding new ways to talk to them. If you're small, you can just talk to them, and like just one-on-one, that's great. If you're a bit bigger, there's many other ways. Like obviously we advocate a lot for support tickets, because if you have a meaningful amount of support tickets, they're perfect for why people are unhappy, the frictions they're having. Like if you're an e-commerce company, why they can't check out, why they're just like, what stopping them, what barriers are there to finding what they want, all those things, like just really rich, full of insight. And so we always will advocate for support tickets. Something we've done recently is create a Slack channel with our customers. I think that's great. Instead of them having to email us, they can just like drop us a message and we can deal with their problems. If you're a B2C company, I probably wouldn't do that. But on B2B side, like we have, fewer customers, they're not doing it all day, but they are already bringing up problems that they might not have, because they can just quick questions. So I think being extremely available to your customers is the best way to be a leader in customer experience.
Oh, that's fantastic. I really like the idea about the Slack channel for quick and faster access to help and support. Great. Well, Ben, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us today. This is very, very good information you're sharing about what you've seen work well and maybe not so well in the market, and how to best be a leader.
My pleasure. Honestly, thanks so much for having me on. It's been like very, very well thought out questions. So thanks.
And thank you all for listening. If you have any thoughts on a customer experience podcast topic, drop me a line on LinkedIn. As always, you can find this episode and many more on a Micro Advice on Spotify, YouTube, and iTunes. Have a great weekend. See you back here, same place, same time next week. Bye now.